Victor.
Steffi.
As we are talking today about the Oscars, I wanted to ask you, do you know how long the Oscars are normally?
Like the duration of the show?
Mm-hmm.
It's something really, really long. Like I'm going to say 2.5 hours.
3.5. And like the Oscars soon, like next year, there will be 100 years. 100 years of Oscars. Amazing.
That's how long they will be?
Yeah, no, like... Okay,
that's too long.
That's too long. No, they started in 1928, and so next year we have the 100th Oscar. Do you know how long the 1928 Oscar ceremony was?
Like the whole show?
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes.
15.
15 minutes?
15 minutes and then they were done.
They didn't have ads back then. It's probably still 15 minutes, but the 3.5 hours, that's the 3 hours and 15 minutes of ads.
And 2017, my last Oscar fact for here, in 2017, they identified, the most boring thing about the Oscars are actually the speeches after they got the Oscars. Because it's like full of emotions and...
What's bad about that? That's what people want, right?
No, it seems like people don't want. They want to see like how the dresses are or whatever. I don't know. But they don't want emotions. And so they had this idea, the host of the show had this idea that whoever says the shortest speech will get a jet ski.
No.
Yes, and the jet ski was won by, I don't know this guy, Mark Bridges.
Never heard of.
His speech was 36 seconds long.
And he got a jet ski.
And he was very disappointed because he actually just forgot half of his speech.
Oh, but that's a good.
Yes.
He got a free jet ski.
He got a free jet ski.
But is that still a thing today? Like if
no,
you have
it was a one-time thing.
That's too bad.
But as we are now moving to our show and the Oscars are moving to the same platform as we are, so I think we are a trendsetter. And I would say, let's start the show.
Yes, let's jet ski into the episode.
Wow. Wow Happens with Stephanie Hutchins and Victor Kunzin.
Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Wow Happens. Today's main topic is going to be about late night shows and how podcasts are gradually taking over and replacing them. And afterwards, we're going to talk about apps, file transfer apps, and body transfer apps via trains. Sounds a bit weird, but it's fun, trust me. But before we get into those, Steffi, I think you have some news.
Starting from 2029, the Oscars will be on YouTube. They are not anymore on ABC or something else. Like they will be on the global platform YouTube, like this podcast.
All right.
And so if you're in America, hi Americans, you need to pay. Like it will be not on YouTube itself, it will be on YouTube TV, which is, I think, like the cable competitor of YouTube. But, Victor, I know you like 3.5 hours of entertainment of the Oscars. For you, it will be for free because globally it will be actually streamed on YouTube. So, youtube.com. And everyone can watch it whenever you want and also has a live show. The deal actually includes even more than just the Oscars. It includes like a year-round program of various awards I have never heard about, which are probably not relevant. And the main thing is the Oscars. And presumably, the rumors say that Disney and Netflix and so they also tried it to get it, but they've just wanted to pay like an 8-figure number. For the license, and YouTube pays more than 100 million, like a 9-figure number for getting these rights to stream the Oscars.
All right, but they're still going to be on regular TV.
No,
just on YouTube.
Just
like
on
exclusive.
It's global exclusive license is on YouTube.
I do have a question actually. Like you mentioned, also other award shows like. Are those all going to be exclusive as well, like all the other award shows?
Okay, I have a list of the award shows. Let me professionally read these. These are the Governor's Award, the Student Award, the Scientific and Technical Awards, the Oscars nomination announcement, nominee luncheon, filmmaker interviews, and podcasts. I think no one... Nice that you hold your hand in front of my camera. But... I think no one is going to care about these other awards. Like
It's just about the Oscars.
yeah, it's like you want to have the Oscars, then please also get the other stuff. You know, like of course these also have an audience, but it's not the relevant piece.
I mean, there's so many sort of like questions around this topic in terms of also the absurd sum that Google or Alphabet or whatever YouTube paid to get the licensing rights for this thing. Because over the last couple of years, you kept hearing that, the Oscars are losing viewerships, the interest globally is winding down on the whole Oscars things, and now it's being sold for 100 million and how long is the contract? Like
5 years.
5 years.
But I don't know if it is 100 million per year or if it is like
Over the whole
100
5
million for the whole. But I guess per year. Like I think you do this per year. But I don't know. But yeah, like look, the question is what can YouTube or Google make out of it, right? Like if we think about Formula One.
The movie?
No.
No,
the actual Formula One,
sport.
which was basically dying, and then came Liberty Media and had this great advertising concept and really revived it and really revived it. There is option. The question is, can Google or YouTube actually execute on these? Because in my opinion, they are not so well known for the great marketing concept.
Yeah.
It could be that this is a random YouTube video, somewhere on the platform, and 5% of the users get it as a thumbnail, and that's it. But yeah, we need to see what they make out of it.
Yeah.
And but there is huge potential, right? Like a lot of people are interested in the Oscars. Maybe not the 3 hours of 3.5 hours live stream, but also who knows how this actually develops, because this were dictated by the broadcasting schedule, right? Like now, YouTube doesn't care if it is 3 hours or 6 hours or whatever. Who knows? Maybe it will be a 6-hour show. And then is the actual question, who will actually host the Oscars?
Mr. Beast.
Who knows?
He's on YouTube, right?
He is on YouTube, right? And why take someone from TV? If you can take someone from YouTube.
Yeah, but that doesn't work, because it's just a platform. I mean, unless they change the concept of the Oscars itself, it doesn't make sense to put somebody from a different, I don't know what to call it, the different medium, and drop ship them into the middle of the ceremony, because the ceremony is still going to be held in the Dolby Theater, I suppose, in Los Angeles, right? It's going to have the same setup as they always have, right?
Yeah, but why not?
This is just a sort of an opinion formed based on what you read online about Hollywood and how their opinion is of, let's say, YouTube and all the other streaming services. It's not very positive. So I kind of think that it's very unlikely that their most prestigious event, that they would allow somebody else to host it, that they don't, I'm not saying that they don't respect, but that they deem as a medium or as a platform that they genuinely, or not generally, don't really like.
I think this is not a question of being asked. I think it's a question of, is this in the contract or not? We don't know the contracts, of course, because they're not public, but you define these kind of things. Who can select the host? And who knows, maybe, I don't know, Disney and Netflix, they wanted to give 80 million, and YouTube said, we give you 100 million or something like this, but for this extra 20 million, we can define who is the host.
But then it's more than just a licensing deal. It's them taking over the show.
Yeah. Who knows?
Interesting. But I think it's also we had in one of our episodes, we talked about YouTube being the new TV, right? And I think bringing in one of TV's most prime broadcasting program, right?
But it's a cinema thing, not a TV thing, right?
Yeah, but the Oscars are on TV.
Ah, yes.
You know, like
That's what you mean,
it's a TV show, if there ever was one, that's more sort of like globally known. Like everybody knows the Oscars, right? And have to have that now on a digital streaming platform as opposed to the regular linear TV is a sign. It's a message also from YouTube saying like, hey, we're taking this over. This broadcast stuff, it's our turf now.
Yeah. The streaming takes everything over.
Yeah. In the end, it'll be like this. But it's interesting, and it will also be interesting to see what else follows. Are the Grammys or what's the other one called? The TV show, the one that usually has a funny host who roasts everybody. Ricky Gervais always did these. What's it called? It's not the Grammys. Grammys is music. It's the other one.
Okay.
The Golden Globes.
Ah, the Golden Globes.
Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes.
Is that going to be on YouTube as well?
No, probably not on YouTube. Probably like on one of these others, right? Like Disney Plus or Netflix or maybe Apple. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, before we move on to our main topic of today, I have one last comment. Yesterday evening, I started watching again Formula One, the movie, because it's on Apple, and I was a bit bored, and then.
And you thought, I'm bored. I don't want to watch one battle after another one because it's so boring, right?
Yes.
I'm going to watch
F1.
I
I try again this Apple movie, this Formula One movie. And what can I say? It is actually a good movie. It is a good movie.
Did you finish it? You said you started watching it.
Yeah, I watched like the first hour. It's 2.5 hours. But the first hour was really fun. Like I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to continuing watching it on the weekend. This will be great.
I'm going to give it another try as well.
Let's go to our main topic today.
Late night shows are dying and podcasts are taking over, which means we are the new late night show.
Really?
No. I mean, technically, well, we'll get into that. But before we actually start talking about it, we should probably try to understand where late night shows are coming from, right? I think you have something prepared for this.
Yeah, like it's super fascinating. You know why it actually started?
No.
Because they figured out instead of like just showing the we don't have any program screen in the middle of the night, they thought, okay, when we stop our program, we just do a little bit of show.
Really?
And so in the 1950s, they started to just basically extend by an hour before they showed the test screen, or I actually don't know how
you had the thing, yeah.
They started doing these late night shows. And then obviously they didn't figure out like what is content and all this stuff. And so they tried a lot of different things. They had a version of the monologue as you have it today, like the opening long monologue. And then they also had interviews and they had a little bit of comedy. And this is actually how it started. And like this got a little bit more like refined, like in the 60s. And then in the 80s, it again transformed extremely when then there was David Letterman and Jay Leno.
I remember there was one on German TV when I was a kid. Harald Schmidt.
Yes, but there was Harald Schmidt and there was Thomas Gottschalk.
He had a late. I mean, I only know him from the betting game, the Wetten Das.
Yeah, exactly. But Harald Schmidt had first like something else with not Fred Feuerstein, but someone who sounds very similar like Fred Feuerstein, and is from Germany. And then Harald Schmidt got his own show, and I think Thomas Gottschalk was actually even a little bit earlier.
Oh, really? I did not know that he had a talk show.
Yes, he had a daily talk show. Yeah. And then at one point came Stefan Raab and all the others.
Yeah, those I remember, the teenage years.
And the interesting thing, if we look at like these late night shows nowadays, is they lost a lot of viewership.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like even Stephen Colbert, who was now also in the news that his show got cancelled, right? Like he basically halved his viewership. like from something around 4 million per night to something around 2 million within like 3-4 years.
Oof.
No one is watching this anymore.
Yeah.
Or is.
Or
And that
is.
brings us again to YouTube. Because late night was never more successful than on YouTube.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, I did a bit of research.
Oh, yeah,
because someone of my friends told me that we are vibing our podcast here. And so I
really?
thought I need to have a little bit more research here because we do so much work to do this podcast. Anyway, now like you have like easily like 10 millions of views on clips. You know, John Oliver is super successful.
Yeah, but
as you
he's
know.
like he's an exception in that field, if you ask me.
No, Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert are so much more successful on YouTube than on their broadcasting. I think like it's unclear what Stephen Colbert will do when he retires forcefully in broadcast TV. But like, if he isn't stupid, he just continues on YouTube and he does it himself.
If you say he continues on YouTube, like how would you see that continuation? And before you answer, I want to give an additional context. Like,
yeah, of course.
So Conan O'Brien quit doing late night shows like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even more. I don't remember. And it was his decision. Like he was like, I think it's enough now. You know, I'm going to quit the show. And since then, he's been doing his podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, which is very successful. And he also has a sort of a semi-travel show, Conan Goes Abroad or something like this. I don't know.
This I actually know. Yes.
Yeah. And so he stopped doing the talk show format, and on YouTube and on podcasts, he has his, show, right? So when you say that Stephen Colbert is going to he's going to do something, that's for sure. Like these people, that's what they do. That's their
like us.
Yeah, exactly. Basically. If we stop this, we're going to make other stuff. But like when you say he's going to continue, do you mean like he's going to continue doing like a late night show on YouTube, or is he going to do something more befitting to the platform?
There is an interesting aspect I didn't have in my script to talk about, but he probably isn't allowed to do the same or very closely on YouTube, because the intellectual property of his show is probably not with him and is instead with his broadcaster.
But he could just do a different talk show. Or do you think he's contractually obliged to not have a show where he has a guest and talks with that?
I think the legal aspects are actually way more specific. Like it really they really look into like tiny aspects. Like, is he sitting opposite of his guest? What are the words he used to ask questions? He first has a monologue, then he invites a guest. In this, he has a band, and he interacts with the band. He makes a joke with a leader of the band, whatever. Like, or he has a mug on his desk and he drinks from his mug. Like these tiny little bit, they are actually intellectual property of the production company and probably not of him personally. And he's not allowed to copy these. So I guess like he probably does something interviewee, or maybe he will do kind of a podcast. And the format will be different because he is not allowed to do the same.
So a legendary late night TV show host is going to stop doing his show. He's going to move on to a digital platform. He's going to do a podcast. And with that, this topic is closed, right? Late night show is dead. Podcasts are taking over. Goodbye. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, that was a short episode.
Yes.
But I think for the viewer, the important thing is actually the brand is the person, right? Like the viewer doesn't understand all these things of the legal technicalities or the production technicalities. They want to have a nice show. And as long as it's the same person who makes like roughly the same jokes, they're fine with it. Or what do you think, who actually carries the show?
I do think the host is the thing. Like, I watch Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, or like I listen to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend because it's Conan O'Brien. Like, if it was, I don't know, Billy the Kid, weird reference,
Yes.
Needs a Friend, I wouldn't watch it because I don't know Billy the Kid. So I want to listen to Conan, right? But I also do miss late night shows, even though I didn't really watch all that many of them, because in Switzerland it's not really that much of a thing, right? There's like I think a couple of Swiss versions of that stuff, but I think the format never really gained that much traction over here. But in the US it's a big thing. It's a very big thing. And it also plays into another part which I think is interesting and might be partially responsible for the demise of late night shows as well, and that's the promotion, of other mediums through late night shows, right? So, for example, as you also tipped on before, like in usually in late night shows, you have different segments, and one of the segments is celebrity interviews, right?
Yeah.
And if George Clooney's blonde friend has a new movie about race cars, he will do a promo tour, and I'm sure that for F1, he was in several late night shows, but he was definitely, I don't know this, but I'm 100% sure he was definitely also on some podcasts.
Yes, of
Not
course.
on ours.
Which I don't understand.
Yes,
Here would be a really nice
he could be
seat.
sitting here. It's a
Yes.
big surface.
Yes.
But they definitely go to podcasts these days because there's a lot of viewers and listeners for podcasts, and different kind of podcasts. And that's just a new part of how the world consumes media these days. So you want to promote it where the people are, and people are listening to podcasts and watching podcasts. So yeah, that's where they end up, right?
But I think there are two major advantages for podcasts in comparison to late night shows. And number one is, and we will go into this more in detail later, like the production. Like this celebrity interview, that's not spontaneous.
No, that's
On TV?
highly curated.
That is highly curated, and everyone knows what exact words will be said at what moment and which picture to take and hold into the camera. And there's no accident. This is completely planned.
It does happen, though. It does happen.
It does happen, but then someone gets a heart attack in the back. And on podcasts, this is normally not the case, right? Like you have these super detailed, deep conversations where like 3 hours, not 5 minutes, where people go like deeper and deeper. And of course, you have some beats written down as we also do this
There's
here.
the PR person standing behind there watching over their shoulders. It's not completely spontaneous.
No, of course not. But way less, I think. You don't agree?
I'm a little bit, because, especially if you're celebrities like actors, right? They're good at talking. Everything looks natural to them, right? So put this with a grain of salt, I would say.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, okay. But it feels different to the audience. And this is actually the second point I wanted to say, because like the audience, they love this. Like, yeah, they like the friend of George Clooney as
the blonde
George
friend
the blonde friend of George Clooney, as George Clooney likes him as well, and he and they can have not 5 minutes with him, they can have like 3 hours with him. That's so great for the audience.
Do you think that this is the thing that's killing late night? The fact that people want to have more in-depth conversations over the teaser, let's call them like that, conversations they have on late night shows?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. This is what kills not only late night shows. This is what kills newspapers. This is what kills all these old medias.
What can you elaborate on that?
Of course. Like I know a little bit of the dying of newspapers, because it is like an industry where I didn't work directly in newspaper, but I worked closely to it. And the problem with newspapers was like when you had the subscription for the paper newspaper, it was this thick and it has like everything. It has the the politics, the foreign stuff, the culture, the sports, and so on. And what are people actually interested in?
One thing.
The sport. Or the headlines.
The comics.
No one in quotes with a small asterisk. Some restrictions may apply. No one is interested in culture. Like, this was always clear for the newspapers as soon as they had online. No one is reading the culture part. And so why spend so much money on this actually very difficult culture part? You need like really smart people to write it and to go to the theater plays and the opera and whatnot. And this is all very difficult. And so they optimize, also the newspapers, they optimize for specific areas where they get the viewers or the readers. And podcasts with this niching down is like the complete transformation of TV. So when you watch PBS or ABC or SF or ARD or whatever, you get a selection of that what in theory, over the whole day, what in theory everyone interests. But you only watch one thing, half an hour maximum.
Yeah.
And so why don't watch then exactly the thing that your niche is actually interested in? And the interesting part about the internet is this niche, this very specific niche, where there's normally like maybe there's one other guy in town who is interested in the same as you. There are millions who are interested in this.
Because it connects, like there's a saying, used to only have one village idiot, but now all the village idiots are connected through a forum,
Exactly. Or what do you think?
Yeah, what you just said made a lot of sense. Like if you look at today's media landscape with YouTube and all the, platforms of how you can reach your audiences with whatever you want to say or show, you have the democratization of media creation, you can say. Like everybody can make anything right nowadays. The production quality is so good with basic equipment that it's hard to differentiate between what a broadcaster did and what a person in a bedroom did. And through that, you get these hyper niched down channels. Let's call them that for now, or to simplify it.
Yeah.
And within those channels, you can then, do the absolute most accurate targeting of your audience that you could ever imagine. It's the dream for any advertiser. Well, if you want to reach your audience, it's perfect. Because in the past, you shot your stuff into a pool and hoped that within that pool, your audience would also be, and that they would take whatever you tried to sell. But now you know exactly where they are. You can just go directly to them, right? Yeah.
There's also this interesting thing. Some years before I started to professionally work in this, like I was always amazed by there's a new book coming and this author is like in 3 different podcasts. And I thought, wow, this is so cool that these podcast guys all want to have this author, and they, I guess there is money involved, right? Like, and I thought the podcaster is paying the book author. And then at one point I learned about it and I realized, no, of course, it's the author who pays.
They want to have the audience.
Exactly. They want to have the audience, and so they pay for this. And it's not like the podcaster is so happy that she got this one specific author. No, he's happy because he also got a bit of money and has a nice show. And so it's like a win-win, actually. Like everyone involved wins. And this was really transformative for me when I realized that. Okay, one thing we haven't talked about in this conversation is actually who are the gatekeepers. And, like you have these old gatekeepers, like the Stephen Colberts of the world, these late night hosts or their shows who decide who will be actually in because they are every day there, right? And nowadays you have these podcast hosts like Rogan, Stephen Bartlett, who does Diary of a CEO, or Lex Friedman, who does a big podcast, and all these people. And I think the interesting thing about this is not only that the type of person changes, because these new ones, they are not entertainers. They are all like, they have something to say by themselves, like they are interested in these specific topics. But also, I think it will all be so much faster. These are the podcasts, the top podcasts of the current year, let's say it, and next year there will be someone else.
Oh, you mean like faster in terms that it's going to change?
Yeah, like you're not like, of course these people don't disappear tomorrow, right? But like the commitment to stay with one of these podcasters is, I think, way lower than we are used to at the late night shows.
Do you think this is just because of how podcast as a medium is, or do you think it's because we haven't found the gatekeepers yet, the new ones?
I think the motivation of people to watch podcasts is a little bit different than watching late night. So in podcast, I think, let's start with late night. In late night, it's definitely mostly entertainment.
Yeah.
Like maybe, let's say 80% entertainment, 20% facts. And in podcasts, I think it is at least 50-50. Like people want to know, what does this person, like the host and the guest, think about a topic. And they not only want to be entertained, they also want to they also want to learn something. And there's enough study around like, how long do you like learning from one person? And so like a lot of creators figure out that they lose a lot of their following, or active following, after like 2 to 3 years. You had enough. You have the feeling as the audience, I know everything this person, the host, knows. And then you move on.
Unless you change.
Unless you change. And there, to be fair, is the podcast format also very limited, right? Because it's like 2 or 3 people sitting in a chair and talking with each other. And so I think like maybe Stephen Colbert, you have watched him for 10 years. And Conan O'Brien, you watch him for 15 years or whatever. But you're not listening for 15 years to Alex Friedman. Like, you get crazy? No, sorry, Lex, if you ever listen to this, but like, you were just an example. No, because it will be also the same for us after.
Don't say that, Steffi.
Okay, I'm not.
People will listen to this forever.
I'm not going there.
Forever.
No. Like we talked already in an earlier episode about this attention budget.
Yeah.
And of course, podcast hosts have figured out how to extend this budget and really keep the listeners or the audience following as long as possible. But there is a limit.
I have a question to kind of start wrapping this up a little bit. So in pretty much everything in life, we have sort of a period where something is trendy and then it goes away and then it comes again, it goes away and comes again. And just now that the way that you said it, like, people, they want this in depth, they want these conversations, but eventually they're going to get bored. Do you think when they're going to get bored that we will go back to late night shows? Is this going to come back in 10, 20 years?
No, I don't think so, because the situation when you listen to podcasts is completely different from when you listen to late night or watching late night. Like people listen to podcasts when they drive with a car. They listen to podcasts when they go somewhere, when they need to do their shoppings or whatever.
But what if people are just getting oversaturated with this? Because right now it's like trending like beyond bananas, And eventually people might be like, okay, I don't want to constantly listen to people in depth talking about a topic for 3 hours. I just want a relaxing time for an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But let's say a variety of acts, maybe a bit of comedy, maybe a bit of a musical guest, maybe a bit of what's currently going on in the media landscape with some celebrity interviews, and then maybe wrapping it up with, I don't know, a sketch or something like this. Doesn't that sound kind of nice?
I think what they should do is they should listen to our podcast, because we have basically everything except for the music guest. But Victor, you play instruments.
Did you also play like some of the thingy there where you blow your air in there and push some buttons?
Yeah, but I stopped doing this like 30 years ago in my life, and I think you're still playing something.
Well,
So
just
maybe
play. Occasionally I hold it in my hands and then I look down and I'm like, this is going to hurt.
Look, it's an interesting question you are saying, and I know what you are implying. But I think the 1 hour late night TV show is over. This is not coming back. And what is coming back is parts of it. I want to watch the celebrity interview, and I want that it only takes 10 minutes. Yes, I can see that. But you will have an unbundling of the late night TV show, so separating these different things, and it will not come back. I don't think so.
I think in 5 years' time, which we will still be around making our episodes, we will have changed this format in order to keep you, the audience, and we will change it to a show with musical acts and comedy sketches and everything in between.
Maybe we also give Oscars to someone.
No, we will receive Oscars.
We will receive Oscars.
From George Clooney's blonde friend.
I see here a wow, Victor. What is your wow?
So my app is called Forklift 4, which is a file transfer app.
Will it be called, like version 5, will it be called 5Lift 5?
No, it's Forklift 4.
Just
because it has an F.
I know.
But a couple of episodes ago, you mentioned CyberDoc, and one of your primary use cases for it was the fact that you can directly upload to Google Drive, which is much faster than using the Google Drive client, which is horribly slow and error prone. And this one does this as well, but it does it in a much nicer interface. And it's pretty cool. I really like it. And I'm actually excited to transfer the files of this recording because you can put your favorite destinations. I have one directly for the Wow Happens folder, right? I just click on it and then it opens up the Google Drive directly in there and you can just throw things over it. And yeah, it's a cool app. And if you're looking for like a good app to transfer files to various destinations, local and remote, Forklift 4, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Is it for free?
No. Costs money.
What does it cost?
I don't know, but they had a deal lately for like $10. It was $10. So which is pretty good. I'm not sure
it's
how
Mac, right?
It's Mac.
Yes.
It's Mac. What about you, Steffi?
Okay, I have something really strange today. So we are living here in Switzerland, right? And last week I was in Germany, and I went with a train. And the German train is very well known for really not being punctual, right? There is even this German-English word, are you already Deutsche Bahn?
Oh.
Which basically means, did you come 30 minutes too late?
Jeez.
Jesus. And, but what they actually, this Deutsche Bahn, what they actually really do well is the app.
Oh.
I think the Deutsche Bahn Navigator is, obviously, it's only working for Germany. Sorry for everyone else. But this is like a really good app for like going via train.
What specifically makes it a really good app?
The usability is amazing. It's so clear. It's like, and it has all these like all the features you need and you want from a train app. Basically, it has it. It's not something special, but like here in Switzerland, we also have the SBB app, right? But this app is like really not good in comparison.
But you just swipe and then you can hop into the train.
Yeah, but okay, this feature you don't have in Germany, but
Fail.
But no, like how the timetable works and then how you can buy tickets in the app. It's like a really nicely done app.
You just touch and drag to the destination you want and then click on buy.
No, I don't like this.
You don't like that?
No, this is really terrible. This is like a gimmicky feature.
I have it bound to my action button on the phone.
Really?
I just hit it and then in there and can just swipe and then I'm go.
Okay, I'm giving up. My wow.
But I have
is
never
more like
seen
the
German railway app. Maybe if I see it, I will be, what do you call it when somebody
Okay, you just said the 2 features it doesn't have, which are super important to you.
That's super
which I
important. Like,
never-
those are really nice features, you know. I don't know.
which I don't use so much. No, I do the swiping ticket, but like I'm pretty sure because it's from a German company actually, the swiping ticket thing.
I thought there was a bunch of ex-SBB people who wanted to do this, and then they didn't allow them to do it, and then they left the company, made it their own, and then SBB bought it back and like integrated it them.
I think they are called Fertig and they're in Freiburg im Breisgau.
Oh, really?
But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Anyway, okay. So after this mau from me,
It's bye from the both of us.
yes. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the show and learned something, and you stay for a long time subscriber. And
Yes.
if you are not a subscriber already,
Click the
now
button.
is the moment
Just down here, right, to the right side of the video.
to
We'll see.
subscribe.
I'll see you next time with musical guests, comedy acts, and a 2-hour monologue from Steffi. Thank you for watching.
So
and
I'm doing the monologue, and everything else is doing Victor.
yes, doing Victor. See you next time. Bye-bye.
This podcast is produced by a crew. Our director of photography is Abim Bollan und Unbundling. Edited by Helena Inzinger. Animation by Mahmoud Brahma. Intro sound by Jonas Bentlio. Marketing by Emilia Geisel. Post-production supervision by Christian Kutschan. Produced by Viktor Künzig. And your hosts, Viktor Künzig and me, Stefanie Hettens.